I'm David,
And I'm William.
and this is The New Frontier. This podcast was mainly started so that some nerdy best friends could digitally document their frequent nerdy conversations.
I think it's worked pretty well. This is the second episode, but you can start like a trend based off two things, right?
2 points makes a trend. That's math.
That's math, and I sucked at math, but I'm not going to hold that against myself. My therapist said to let that go.
Just let it go.
Just let it go. We're no more from that because I don't want to start singing. So, how have you been, David?
You know, I've been keeping busy. I'm working. Oh, I did some decorating in my apartment, and I started putting up my Star Wars posters.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I bought a lamp.
Well, that's great.
Here's the thing.
What color is the lamp?
It's metal, but it's made to look like a rocket ship.
Hey.
So that's people make fun of me now because I got a rocket ship lamp and I got a Mickey Mouse phone.
Hey.
And they're like, what do you do? I'm like, I make podcasts, okay? Like, this is media, this is entertainment, you know? And then they leave.
That's just generally rude. That's a bad conversation.
No, right? I was like, really? You know what I'd rather talk about with them is trailers.
Oh.
That's what we call a segue.
Wow. Seamless.
You know, I got on a Segway once, and I got off real quick. Not my thing, but I'll get better at them. So, when I think of the best trilogies of all time, obviously, one that hasn't been completed until now was the Has Fallen series.
The Has Fallen?
Yeah,
what is that?
Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus
Has Fallen. In my little heart, I never believed we would get a third one. But, the gods at Hollywood have obviously deigned to grace us with this. What'd you think of the trailer?
For Angel Has Fallen?
Yes.
So I watched it probably about 5 minutes ago, and I'm having a hard time remembering what was in it. That's how important it was to me, how big of an impact it had.
It was every generic action movie ever. Oh, important person got hurt, important person in coma, can't vouch for the good guy.
Yep.
Everyone assumes the good guy's bad.
It's like somebody didn't understand the video game Dishonored.
That's like Taken. I think the third Taken, literally all the cops and FBI were after him because they're like, you're obviously the bad guy. And so this movie has been done so many times. The only difference is this time it's Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that because I love how bad Gerard Butler is.
Has he been in a good movie?
I swear he has. I swear that I can't just say he hasn't been in one. But at the same time, I can't think of one.
Right.
So
I'm too lazy to open IMDb right now. I didn't like the drones. I thought they looked stupid.
So I've never caught on to the drone trend in real life. I'm always like, they're not as cool as everyone says they are.
Right.
And on top of that, they're being put in movies as like these MacGuffins, these bad guys.
Yeah.
And it's always like, the drones are coming. I'm like
in
really?
Venom, do you remember those drones?
Yes. It's just like, okay, we don't want to see a bunch of people doing bad stuff. Let's just put drones. That's like, that shows they're advanced and mysterious. I'm like, no, it's crap. Bad writing. Have we seen drones in any Marvel movie yet?
Falcon sort of has a drone. Spider-Man had a drone that came out of his chest.
But it's like nothing compared to what we're talking about right now.
Right. We haven't got like these bad bog standard Hollywood drones.
Correct.
To my recollection yet. And
I'm okay with that because it's
technically in Iron Man 2, those were drones.
But
again, very different.
He wanted to protect his board.
You got to protect the board.
Well, speaking of robots, at least we have a really good trailer to talk about now.
Oh, yeah.
Terminator.
Dark Fate. Otherwise known as like the third soft reboot of the third movie. Because like every Terminator movie since T3 has been like, we're going to disregard everything but the first two Terminators. That was Salvation. And then Genesis comes along and is like, no, we're going to disregard everything besides the first two Terminators. And now like 2 years later, or wait, what year was Genesis? I don't remember.
I
Recent
can't
though.
remember. Yeah.
But again, they're going to be like, okay, so we're going to disregard everything but the first two Terminators.
Yep.
And this one still kind of doesn't look that great.
No, no. The effects look poor.
Mm-hmm.
I think even at this point, studios are like, we'll make it because it'll make some money, but we don't care about investing in it because we know it's not going to be great.
Right, and I don't really think of Terminator as one of these super mega franchises that they keep trying to push it for.
Same thing with Alien in a way.
Yeah, like
Alien and what's the other one? Predator.
Yeah, like, Alien, Predator.
There's something about those movies that they're very much the 80s, 70s action movies that don't need sequels. And Hollywood's like, oh, they were good once. Let's keep rebooting it. But it's not needed.
It's not.
It's not.
So it's kind of weird that they're combining like aspects of the first two Terminator movies with the traditional like T8. Is it the T800? Yeah, the T800, which has like just the normal metal robot, and then they've got the liquid metal like the T2, T1000. But now they just sort of put them together.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
Old Arnold is back again.
His contract never expires.
Looking even older than the last time old Arnold was here.
He's become Harrison Ford at this point, where it's he just plays old grumpy man, you know? Mm-hmm. It seems old Arnold's a little happier, though, but I guess.
Wait, like old Arnold as in the actual human or his character?
Both.
Okay.
Like, at least his characters in the movies I've seen trailers for the past few years have been like, okay, it's not the most negative thing, you know?
Yeah, because they try to make him a little bit more comedic in Terminator Genesis.
Yeah.
In the like a second and a half we see in Dark Fate, I think it's going to be hard to tell, but yeah, he's generally a little bit more pleasant than Harrison Ford.
Just a little. Mm-hmm. You know, this movie, I'm pretty sure a good metaphor / segue is that if you put a bomb in a bowl, and that's what this movie would be. Probably not at all, but the next movie trailer we're going to talk about is Abominable.
Wow.
Didn't see that coming. So, what do you think of the Yeti? Is the Yeti real?
Like in real life?
In real life.
Oh man, I don't. If movies are anything to tell me, it's yes. And there's a secret society of them living out there. Sometimes they have magic superpowers, as we see in this one, where the Yeti has the power to make ice, which propels a boat. Which is a confusing concept for me.
You know, it's really interesting. Personally, ever since being a child, I believe Yetis were real. Mm-hmm. So, like, of all the crazy things to happen in this world, that doesn't seem all that crazy. More crazy that we haven't found one, but that's not the point. Talking about William's crazy beliefs. But, like, geez, did we really need another Yeti movie? Like
another one? Yeah, because we just had Littlefoot that came out like last year. Nobody saw it.
Yeah, and technically, Missing Link is like Bigfoot type thing. So
right, yeah. Because I think that had a Yeti as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand the appeal. Like, I can maybe see a Yeti movie that's like a horror where they're stuck in like the mountains. Mm-hmm. Like maybe, you know, but they're going for kids movies. And I'm like, maybe it's the fact that it's alone and it doesn't know what it wants in life and that's good for kids or something like that.
Yep. But children need to see miserable things.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez. I don't have much more, but adults like to see miserable things too.
That's true.
And that's why we watched the Batwoman trailer.
Yes. I don't even know which Batwoman this is supposed to be because I'm not aware of a Batwoman being Bruce Wayne's cousin.
Yeah.
There's Barbara Gordon and Cassandra Cain are the two Batwomen that I know.
Yes. I honestly, it's like I swear there was someone who was Batman's cousin in like the comics.
There very well could have been, but this is like the most obscure Batwoman you could do. It's like how Tim Drake is sort of like the Robin that nobody knows about. Mm-hmm. I think that's this Batwoman.
Which is unfortunate because with how great the trailer looked, it would have been very nice to have something relatable. Mm-hmm. And instead we just got not a lot of great.
Do you feel empowered by this trailer?
Well, I'm not a woman, so
That's true. This wasn't made for us.
no, it wasn't made for us.
Nope.
Just like Captain Marvel, which neither of us really got because once again, it wasn't made for us.
It wasn't made for us.
Um, but we've talked about this. There's a way to do these type of movies where it's not beating you over the head with a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wonder Woman, I think, was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Maybe not perfect, but really good.
Mm-hmm. And I'd like to ask the question of, is this character a good role model?
Right.
Wonder Woman, yes. Captain Marvel, ooh, maybe not. This Batwoman, definitely not.
Yeah, right. I'm like, all right. At least the Green Arrow was like had some positivity about him, you know, and Flash too.
Mm-hmm.
Really, all of them. So it's kind of weird we're getting this very murdery Bat character.
Well, it's not even like the positivity that bothers me. It's how they dismiss everybody who isn't them.
Correct.
Like they just don't respect anyone who is not themselves.
We've talked about this before too. The fact that the movies or TV show representations of Batman have lately just like stripped him down literally to no one likes him.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, hey, if you're a Bat character, no one likes you.
Yeah.
What are the reasons? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're rich, aloof, you know, but those are the stupidest things. Like, that's so surface level.
It is. Because it's cool to have like Robins that are just having fun and doing fun flips and being happy.
Correct.
Because it's what we call contrast. But when you have nothing to contrast, you get boring stuff.
Yes.
And I think this Batwoman just kind of looks boring and tedious.
So CW is really good at making shows.
Mm-hmm.
CW is also releasing a Nancy Drew show.
Yes.
Maybe it's just me. And it's not a sexist thing. I always grew up reading the Hardy Boys. Mm-hmm. And I would actually love a movie or TV show based off of them. Nancy Drew was never my thing. But what do you think of this trailer?
I thought I was watching a Riverdale trailer. Because isn't Nancy Drew supposed to be like 12?
Yeah, same with the Hardy Boys. They're like early teens.
Yeah, so it just, I don't know. I think CW, if they wanted to do this, just, make Nancy Drew. Stop updating things.
No, it's not necessary at all. But, we're also sorry, I forgot to mention this to you before we recorded this, but we're also getting a Josie and the Pussycats show, which is a spinoff of the Riverdale show. So we're just getting a lot of weird shows.
How much, bandwidth does the CW have? Apparently a lot.
Apparently a lot. I think the superhero shows really revived them. Mm-hmm. And so now they're just hitting it out of the park with everything. Like my sister, who's late teens, loves Riverdale, and all of her friends do too. It's a soap opera that's at the best not that cheesy compared to other soap operas. Mm-hmm. And so soap operas get people, they pull you in.
They somehow do after 10,000 episodes.
Exactly. They really do. And so I guess Riverdale is like a cleaned up version of a soap opera, and it just attracts people to watch it because they're like, ooh, who killed Veronica's blah, blah, blah boyfriend? I'm like, I was like, I don't care.
Right.
But at least Jughead is apparently time traveling in the comics now.
Oh.
So I would prefer that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get a petition on change.org started.
Yes.
Everybody sign up in the link below. That's not going to be there.
I can't remember. I think they made him asexual in the comics recently. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. I know that there was a gay character for a little bit, and Archie jumped in front of a bullet to save the gay character.
Mm.
And this is all in the comics. And I was like, when did the Archie comics start getting edgy and like modern and realistic?
Honestly, I didn't know the Archie comics were still getting made.
They still are. We have the double digest or whatever. We still have those where you can go to like Walmart and there's that huge thick thing of new Archie comics. I'm like, who's drawing these?
Whoa.
Who's writing these? Like, no offense, but like,
Some
who's doing this?
some poor writer and artist are just locked in a basement somewhere. I bet if we
Exactly.
like read through these, we could find a decoded message to find like GPS coordinates on the basement they're located in.
He's like, I've been locked down here for years. Well, trailers are fun,
hmm
but what's more fun, David?
I think something that's a little bit more fun is ranting about Star Wars, William.
I think you're right. I think you are right.
Which
So,
means it's time for our Star Wars rant minute.
where we take 1 minute, I'm kidding. Start explaining it. So, what's the topic? What's the topic we're ranting about?
So there is a video that is called. Let me just make sure I've
It's
got the
actually,
exact title. It's
yep.
Star Wars SC38 Reimagined. And I'm assuming it's like scene 38 or whatever. I don't know what it actually means, but basically, some people redid the entirety of the Alec Guinness and Darth Alec Guinness. Why did I call him Alec Guinness? The Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fight scene from Episode 4.
Mhm.
And William, what do you think of it?
So, here's the thing. Recently in Star Wars Rebels,
hmm
uh, the greatest show of all time, um,
Obviously.
sarcasm heavily implied, the scene with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul,
hmm
literally the fight was just like less than a minute.
Yep.
It
It's like
was the
20
build up.
seconds. It was
Yeah,
short.
it was no jumping around, nothing. It was just
hmm
Obi-Wan killing an old Sith,
Yep.
and it just happened.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, that's realistic. That's how old Force users would fight because they're old, their bodies are old. I'm like, how do I
Mhm.
have to explain this?
Yeah, and it was really cool because he started when he lit up his lightsaber, he did the Episode 3 pose to Grievous, like where he's got the two fingers pointing out. But then he like brought his lightsaber in and held it like he did in Episode 4. So they did like this visual transition from young Kenobi to old Kenobi, and it was just brilliant. And that was in Rebels. It's probably the best thing Rebels has ever done.
Oh, for sure.
But
Um,
Star Wars SC38 decided, ah,
it's like,
no, people
okay,
can do
what
flips
does
still.
an aging cyborg who can barely breathe and move on his own have in common with an old dude who's been living in the desert for like 20 years? Oh, they're both super agile and
Yeah.
can fight to the death. That's obvious. Why
Mhm.
didn't George Lucas do that for us?
Yeah. So I
Uh,
can appreciate the amount of time and effort that
oh my
went into
gosh.
this. I still think it looks bad,
Hmm.
and I don't think it needed to happen.
No, no, not at all. Um, Jeez. It just, like you said, didn't need to happen. I kind of wish the passion that went into this went into maybe The Last Jedi.
Oh, of course. Yeah, let's bring these people in to make the new stuff.
Yes, exactly. I'd rather that than a lot of the stuff we got in The Last Jedi. But our minute's over, so we have to stop talking about this.
Ah, so painful. Okay.
It really is. But instead, we get to talk about some updates, rumors, casting, all that fun stuff. So, first, crazy new rumor. Have you heard of a movie or video game, maybe, called
hmm
Sonic the Hedgehog?
I think that's one of those little indie games that have popped up on my radar once and again.
Yeah, they said it's kind of like this new trendsetter, you know? I've seen some images lately, and apparently he's like an anthropomorphic hedgehog that looks kind of like a human.
Mm.
And
Does
I
he
was like,
have
wow.
does he have more human characteristics than one would possibly maybe want?
Oh yeah, because when you think of a hedgehog, you think of human teeth.
hmm
Um, it's just something you think of.
Human teeth and human thighs.
Human thighs. It's I'm really uncomfortable because I'm pretty sure if we had gotten the original design, if he would take his shoes off in a scene in the movie, he would have toes.
He would have toes. He would absolutely have
Yeah.
toes.
And that would make me throw up, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Like it was already bad enough he wasn't wearing his gloves and he had fingers.
hmm
Like
hmm
ugh. Ugh.
So the release date was moved, I think, 4 to 6 months ahead
hmm
because the backlash was so bad. Like literally 300,000 likes and 600,000 dislikes. And
Whoa.
it was moved in advance because people hated a lot of things about it. But the
hmm
one thing I guess they could fix without blowing $1 billion
Yeah.
was the fact that the design of Sonic looked so bad.
hmm
And so they're reanimating Sonic apparently.
Right. Yeah.
His character.
You can't reshoot the entire movie to not be Sonic coming into the real world, but you can maybe make him look a little bit more like the video game character, which I'm not sure is the right thing to do. I have no idea. It
At this
doesn't look good, but yeah, why not Ugh, just commit to it.
Commit. Yeah. I mean, at this point, really, I'm sure they would have made their money back because it's just so bad. People are going to go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think Venom was going to make his money back, and it made almost $1 billion.
So much money.
What do I know?
I'm kind of upset that they're forcing the animators to work all this much overtime, and that's still a really ambitious, like, sort of digital reshoot cycle. So I feel really bad for everybody who's on the technical aspect of this movie.
Yeah. At least you can hope that maybe they weren't even done animating all the scenes, and so they didn't even have to reanimate a bunch.
Yeah.
So that's the hope. But I'm not excited, and I'm excited and not excited.
We're excited for the wrong reasons.
We're excited for the wrong reasons. None of the reasons that they wanted us to be excited. But hey, at least we have some somewhat exciting news, not update news about DC.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
There is a very, very strong rumor that most everybody has reported as fact, and that is we have a new Batman already for Matt Reeves' upcoming Not the Batman.
I was like, we don't have a title. It's not the Batman anymore.
We know it's not the Batman.
I'm excited because Willem Dafoe said it best when he said, well, Robert's got the chin for it.
He's got the chin. What else could you possibly need?
Can you imagine a Batman without a limp chin? Like, great. Thanks, Willem.
So, do you have any thoughts on this potential new Batman, Robert Pattinson?
So, I've heard he's done great things recently. He's in a horror movie that's coming out this year, black and white thriller. It's got 100 on Rotten Tomatoes right now, indie film. And then on top of that, he's had some other movies. I haven't seen any of his movies. Twilight.
Yeah, but I haven't seen any of those Twilight movies.
I've seen all the Twilight movies. They're horrible. My girlfriend made me watch them. I promise. And here's the thing. Everyone in that movie has said in interviews they weren't even trying. It was just about the paycheck.
Yeah.
And so you can tell that with a lot of the actors. When you see them in other things, you're like, wow, they don't suck, you know? And so I feel like the same thing for him. So I don't have any doubts about him. You know, I think he can do it.
I'm looking forward. I'm hoping. I don't know. We're still waiting for an official confirmation, and then we'll see what he does.
Oh, for sure. I think I've heard that we're going to get the Penguin as the main villain. I'm kind of. We could talk about this as its own whole topic one day, but I'm kind of like burned out on what they're trying to do with Batman.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just like, there are so many good options, and you just keep doing like crappy ones. It's like we've already seen the Penguin, you know. Like, come on, like we don't need another Joker, we don't need another Penguin. Just give us new villains, like something else. Batman, we don't need. Jeez, that's a whole.
And you know what would have maybe made more sense for this show off Batman being the world's greatest detective type thing Matt Reeves is pitching?
The Riddler.
The Riddler.
Yep. It would have made so much more sense. But why? Why try?
Let's see. It'll come out in like 2043 or something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, of course, because the guy was reported to be working on it for like 2-3 years, and then he finally said, "I'll have it done by 2019." Then he finished the script, and now we're getting casting.
This movie's
like
been
you said,
in
2040
since
that's when the movie's gonna
2014.
Robert Pattinson might be old enough to play Batman by then. I'm kidding, because people don't like Batman.
William, are you still there?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm not complaining. I'd love that. So, New Mutants.
New Mutants, yes.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
When's it coming out, William?
So, I think it's coming out in 2018. Oh, sorry. It's coming out 2019. Oh, damn it.
Wait.
They moved it again. Now, April 2020.
2020.
I love that they're still keeping April. Because it's been like April every year they advance it.
Yep.
So we had a trailer, we had a poster, we had a release date, and they missed it, and there was no news. Then they said we're moving it to re-edit, and I think it's been reshot like 3 times at this point. And they're pretty much like, now it's being reshot to look like what the original film was, and I'm like, what in the
We're going to reshoot our original vision.
Yes. I'm like, I don't honestly, I don't know. I like, at this point, they're never going to make their money back. Like, no. I don't think it's possible unless it's the best movie of all time. I don't think there's any way they'll make the money back. So I don't even know what they're trying to do right now.
Hmm. I'm so curious about this movie, and I'm really looking forward to it because it actually looks so much more interesting than the other X-Men film that's coming up pretty soon.
Sorry, don't know what you're talking about. I don't keep up with that crap. You're talking about the one where they had an epic finale set in space and reshot it to be on a train on Earth.
What's cooler, a space or a train?
Well, I told my grandpa that, and he was like, "Well, maybe the space scene looks so bad they had to do it on a train." I was like, "You know what? I'm pretty sure that's what it was."
Yeah.
They blew it.
I mean, I really want to see James McAvoy's Patrick Stewart floating in a space wheelchair.
You mean we already do have a space scene? That just doesn't mean it's gonna be the final.
Right, but I want to see him like floating around fighting in a space wheelchair.
Oh, of course, I'd love that.
Yeah.
His X wheel spinning around. Are you excited for any other crazy movie announcements that we got recently?
Yes. Continuing the trend of David and William being obsessed with bonkers connected cinematic universes, The Fast and Furious is going ham on it. Because Hobbs and Shaw isn't even out yet.
We don't even know if it's going to do well.
We don't even know if it's going to do well. But there are the head honchos at whatever studio makes this, because I have no idea, decided it would be a good idea to announce another Fast and Furious Presents movie.
Yep.
And it's Cypher, who is apparently a character.
Yeah. I mess up this woman's name every time. Charlize Theron.
Oh, wasn't she in
Mad Max?
Yeah.
And a lot of other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's an actual actress.
Yes, she is. A lot of people that appear in the Fast and Furious movies would be considered actors, but the moment they step on that set, Vin Diesel takes that away from them.
Sorry, you can't be part of the family with that.
Exactly. Oh, geez. I honestly, the Hobbs and Shaw one makes sense because I'm like, okay, they were great in their own 2 movies they were in with the Fast and Furious team. I can see them having their own movie. Cypher was a villain. Okay, yes. Like I don't even remember the movie that well, but I don't even remember her even less. So it's like, what's this gonna be? Like, I don't understand.
Is this an origin story?
I honestly have no idea. It's pretty much like that vampire movie we're getting from Spider-Man, right?
Ooh, yes.
Morpheus or whatever. Morpheus. Morpheus, the Matrix vampire. Oh, jeez. But
also, speaking of bonkers, potentially maybe connected universes.
Yes. We had an old podcast called The WA Show. And our first few episodes literally were all about the Universal Monsters universe that they were creating.
The Dark Universe.
The Dark Universe.
Which already had like a theme and an intro and everything before the first movie came out.
It was really pushing for it to be a success. It's weird that they hinged all their success on a movie that I don't think if you showed anybody would think it would be good. The Mummy. And it bombed really bad.
I'm sorry, it's Tom Cruise, The Mummy.
Oh, Tom Cruise, The Mummy. Yes, you're right. So Tom Cruise, The Mummy bombed bad. And it was bomb bad.
Subscribe for more quality content.
Yes. Please subscribe,
for more bomb bad content.
So, yeah, we're getting another Universal movie that's not a part of that universe because now they're just focusing on monster movies because people want that apparently.
I do want that.
I mean, I do, but I don't think like the majority of people are like, oh, I love classic Dracula. I'd love to see that. So we're getting Universal's The Invisible Man. Would you like a plot summary?
I would. I'd also like to know if Johnny Depp is still attached to this, but they haven't said a word about it.
Creepy. How bad of a life Johnny Depp's been living, like he's abusive to his ex and everything. Like, I think that would fit kind of with this movie, which is unfortunate.
He doesn't even have to method act for it. Spoilers. But please. What is the description?
It follows Cecilia, who's played by Elizabeth Moss. She receives the news of her abusive ex-boyfriend's suicide. She begins to rebuild her life for the better, but her sense of reality is put into question when she begins to suspect her deceased lover is not actually dead.
So Does it sound like the Invisible Man is the star of his own movie?
No,
No.
it sounds like it's like Attack of the Invisible Man. You know?
Yes. Yes. Like Stalker, but with the Invisible Man.
Yes, it's kind of like the Mummy movie. The Mummy wasn't even that big of a thing in it. You know?
Right, right, yeah.
So
But
uh,
it's odd because in the Invisible Man book written by I forget who,
H.G. Wells,
was that it? It was H.G. Wells.
I'm really disappointed in you.
I'm sorry. Because I I don't know, for some reason I was thinking Robert Louis Stevenson, but that's the Time Machine. Anyway.
Okay, if it makes you feel better, I pointed to a picture of Mark Twain. It was a caricature, but you could tell it was Mark Twain.
Yeah.
I pointed to my roommate and said, "Who is this?" And he said, "Oh, that is the leader of Cuba."
Oh.
And I said, "No, it's not. That's Mark Twain." And he said, "Well, they look the same." I was like, "No, they don't. That's not Fidel Castro." So you're good.
But anyway, in the H.G. Wells story, the Invisible Man was the main character.
Yes, slowly going insane.
Slowly
Which
going insane.
honestly would make for a great film.
It would be fantastic.
But you know, why go for great when you can go for cheesy horror film?
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to have a lead character, this female, panting around the house, freaking out because she's being stalked by her boyfriend. No one believes her. Eventually, she's probably going to kill him, but he's not really dead or something like that. That's probably the plot, right?
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll still see it. It's Universal.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
Like, I do like that they said they're going to focus on small budget horror movies, which is the best way to do horror.
Correct.
But it kind of still seems like a little bit of that dark universe charm is still lurking about, just like the Invisible Man.
Yes, it will. Hopefully, we get the intro at the beginning, to be honest. The Dark Universe. I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Elfman would like that too.
Yes. So I'm sure he spent a good 30 minutes making that.
Oh, those 30 minutes could have been used on many other things, and he knew that. And he's like, you know what? I'm focusing this. This is worth the $2 billion they're paying me.
Yeah.
So, David,
Mm-hmm.
I love talking about rumors and whatnot, but let's talk about something big.
One cohesive big thing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, the big thing, Star Wars.
You thought we were done with Star Wars ranting, but no.
You thought that's your mistake. You thought.
Stop thinking while listening to us. That's.
We're just like the most narcissistic people. Hey, listener, you don't think for yourself. We tell you what to think.
We'll tell you what to think. You come to us for something.
Yes, you come to us for us to tell you that the Knights of the Old Republic trilogy is coming out.
It is.
I bet you didn't even know that, listener.
Mm-hmm. It is new.
I kind of wish I didn't know that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because what has it been? Ever since the first movie was announced by Disney, people were like, when do we get Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, when are we getting KOTOR?
Yeah. And they finally give it to us, and I mean this in the nicest way, but not really. They give it to us in the shittiest way possible. They're like, all right, you're getting it. All right, fine, you're going to get it from a writer who has done nothing but crap movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to be vague about it too. And it might be a trilogy, it might not. All right, how's that sound?
We're going to announce the writer for the movies, not anybody like a director or any actors attached to it. No, here's the writer.
Who's the writer?
I don't have.
Did you say here's the writer or who's the writer?
I said here's the writer, but now I'm wondering who it is again because I don't have IMDb open.
You were saying it like a dramatic way, like here's the writer, like them saying that the Disney. But I took it as you segueing into who the writer was.
I was hoping you would just sort of pick that up.
Leida Kalogridis. I probably butchered this poor woman's name. I literally can give you. She co-executive produced Avatar.
Okay.
I don't know how she got that far in the game to do that, honestly. She co-wrote Alita Battle Angel.
Some people liked it.
Yeah, some people liked it. And her best movie, it seems, was Shutter Island. I haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
And so she wrote that. So a lot of horror stuff, to be honest, in her filmography. So
Yeah, Avatar is terrifying.
Avatar is pretty horrifying. I've seen it too many times, and it's pretty bad. So, whatever. Star Wars at this point, I'll see it because it's Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
Hmm.
And if it's set in the universe and there's Star Wars elements, I'm going to enjoy at least some of it.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. At least we also got new release dates for 3 other unrelated movies.
Unrelated, which could potentially be anything.
So here's the thing. If these 3 movies are completely unrelated, because when they announced the release dates, when Disney announced them for these 3 movies, they did not mention if they were the Rian Johnson trilogy. They didn't announce if they were the Game of Thrones movies, and they didn't announce the Knights of the Republic thing until like a couple days later. So it's like, did they just announce like 15 movies out of nowhere? Because I don't understand. They're kind of becoming DC at that point,
Yeah.
Where there's like, here's a bunch of stuff that's coming out.
Here's New Gods and Supergirl and Plastic Man and Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. It's like, what?
I miss all those.
I'm of the opinion. Go ahead.
You could like join. No, I'm like whatever. I'm talking. I remember when you could go to any news website every day and there'd be new announcements of a DC movie. And I'm like, I miss those days because now we just don't have any DC movies.
Yep. Now it's a barren wasteland.
Exactly.
But I'm of the opinion that these 3 untitled Star Wars movies are each going to be the first of one of the 3 upcoming trilogies. That way we have like 6 years in between movies of the same trilogy.
That is such a stupid idea. But here's the thing. It sounds like something they would do. So,
because it's a way to make sure the franchise keeps on trucking along for another decade.
It keeps on keeping on. Oh, jeez. I am disappointed, Kathleen.
Yeah.
But not surprised. Jeez.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Just disappointed. Oh, geez. But the first movie of the Game of Thrones trilogy of these Star Wars movies is coming out in 2022. The same year that a untitled Star Wars movie is coming out. So I'm confused. Is it the same one and they just had 2 different people release press releases?
Yeah.
Jimmy didn't know what Timmy was releasing, and same movie, but Jimmy's like, I can't title it. I honestly don't know. Because technically the Game of Thrones one isn't titled either. So it could be it.
It could be.
I don't think it would make any sense to release 2 Star Wars movies in a year. So
no, it didn't work out the last time they did it within the time frame of 1 year.
Correct. Maybe it's because
it could be because both of those movies weren't good.
Correct. Yeah, that could very well be a big factor, It might be the only factor.
Because, Marvel puts out multiple movies in a year, and they tend to be pretty good.
See, if my grandma said, she said that. She was like, another Star Wars movie so soon when Solo came out? And I was like, wow, if my grandma out of nowhere said that, like, it might be too many Star Wars movies.
It could be.
Like, literally every other year still seems excessive. Like, I wouldn't mind every 3 years.
Yeah, that's what it was for the prequels. It was 99. Oh yeah, Phantom Menace just turned 20 like a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And there's been like a lot of nostalgia for it. Like everybody's like, it's not that great, but I really like it still. Like, oh wow.
It gave us the Binks,
It did give us the Binks.
I'll always appreciate the Binks.
But it's so funny. I feel like I'm just way ahead of the times because do you remember when The Force Awakens was coming out, all the marketing was going on, everybody could not stop trashing the prequels. And I was like, they're not good, but I've got a soft spot for them. It introduced a lot of interesting things for it. But everybody was like, no, the prequels are trash. And then 7 came out, and I was like, I don't really think it's that great. And everybody's like, no, it's the best. And then like now everybody's like, yeah, 7 wasn't that great. The prequels aren't too bad retrospectively. Like, I'm pretty sure the fandom is just following me.
Yeah, it is. That's really what it is. Maybe Kathleen will follow you. Doubtful. Doubtful, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. I I don't know if there's much we can say new about all the Star Wars stuff that we haven't said before,
Right.
because at this point we don't know a whole lot. We know they've got like 3 live action shows planned, one coming out this year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at this point, I'm interested to see what happens, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not
Which-
on the edge of my seat.
that's something I was never hoping to say about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sonic, the Hedgehog trailer, has more views than the Star Wars trailer for The Rise of Skywalker.
And Joker does as
And
well.
Joker too,
Mm-hmm.
which Joker is a character that I could much rather see people being washed up of over Star Wars. You know,
Especially like with Jared Leto.
correct.
Like nobody should be interested in this movie, even though it is very intriguing.
Oh yeah, I mean, you and I are interested because we're like comic book nerds, but
Mhm.
like for like
The general
30
populace.
50 million people to watch that, you know, I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, over Star Wars, really?
Mhm.
You know, it's crazy. But I'm okay with that because that Star Wars trailer didn't look that great.
It didn't. Like I have no idea, because they're talking about like every great trilogy must have a conclusion. I still really don't feel like this trilogy started.
No. As far as from what I've heard, it's pretty much going to be like, hey, this is all the stuff that doesn't count from The Last Jedi.
Mhm.
Like, hey, Finn doesn't like women. He's in love with Poe, like we intended. Rey's parents are like gods.
Mhm.
She's been trained this whole time. They just wiped her memory. The only thing I'm excited for, honestly, besides Kylo Ren,
Mhm.
is the fact that the Knights of Ren are actually confirmed to be in this movie.
Hey, well that's good.
And I'm actually excited about that.
Yeah. Maybe
Watch
we'll
the
get
payoff.
some backstory that I've been begging for.
No.
I want context.
No, you're not going to get any of that. It's a new trilogy Star Wars movie. You're not
Mhm.
going to get context.
We're going to re-kill the already dead Emperor and go back to the status quo.
Yep,
Again.
back to the back.
Mhm.
Exciting stuff.
Mhm.
Exciting stuff. I love Star Wars. My love has changed for it over the years, but I still do love it.
It's a complicated love.
It is. It's like a marriage, you know.
Mm.
It really is. I've chosen not to divorce it though. Oh geez, Star Wars. So, David, we're getting near the end.
Mhm.
Do you have any small or big questions for me?
Yes, I do have a question for you, William, and I believe you have approximately, but not exactly, 2 minutes to answer this.
Uh-oh. This sounds like intro music, please.
Whoa.
Question.
So the question that I want to pose to you, William, is how will you know if you're getting superhero fatigue? Because it kind of feels like we're getting fatigued on a few things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. So I was actually thinking about this the other day. It really depends on the character and how much of a new element it brings. Like Shazam,
Mhm.
I actually enjoyed it. I felt it was new and original enough, you know,
Mhm.
to the point that I was like, I'm not really tired of this. You know, there were the things that I were tired of in the movie were things that we've seen before, but I think for the most part, it did a pretty good job of being new.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was an early superhero movie made today, and I was really fatigued after watching that.
Yes.
And honestly, after watching Endgame, I was like, I don't need any more superhero movies. Like, I mean,
It felt like a
it's
really good conclusion.
yeah, it really was. I was like, you know, I really don't need another Marvel movie. And I
Mhm.
know we're getting Spider-Man, and it's weird to say, as much as I love Jake Gyllenhaal,
Mhm.
I'm not interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go see it, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Or I'm not even like, all right, yeah, I'll go see it first week, second week, you know? I'm not even
Mhm.
thinking like that. Is that similar with you?
It sort of is, yeah, because I've been thinking like, we need so much more new ideas.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if you heard the rumor that we probably could have put this in the updates and rumors section, but there's a rumor that the third Spider-Man movie will have Deadpool, and I just kind of sat there and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And that got me thinking, like, am I excited for superhero movies?
Yeah.
Like, I still want Man of Steel 2.
I think I might be done with your typical superhero movie. Like, if it's got magic, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That's new. I'll take that.
Yeah.
If it's set in space in a good way, like Guardians, I'm interested in that too.
Or if it's some really obscure characters like the Eternals or the Old Gods.
Exactly. So there's the timer.
There's the 2 minutes.
I will say that if it's a DC movie, I'm probably excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of the Marvel trend because they're not doing anything all that different except for Guardians every once in a while. So
and the Fox trend, because Dark Phoenix looks oof.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
No, not yet. Anyway, maybe in a few weeks.
I would totally be down for a Green Lantern movie. I'm just excited for that.
Yeah.
We're never getting it, obviously, because it's a good thing. Why would they give it to us? But yeah, I think this was too depressing of an episode.
It was, yeah. I mean, they always say, like, the midpoint of a trilogy should be the most depressing or the darkest place. So if this is our second episode,
yes,
I think it follows.
I think it does. It really does. So much just sadness in the news here, and I'm okay with the next one being, the cheesy pandering to kids episode that the third movie always is.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get cash grab, and we'll rehash some early elements.
Yep. We'll definitely bring the Ewoks too as the lovable characters. I just love Ewoks.
Yep.
So.
Well, as always, if you're listening through Anchor, feel free to send us a voice message, comment, or a question. You can also find this podcast on the official New Frontier YouTube page, along with other related and possibly unrelated content.
Always fun. I put up a horror film of a Mickey Mouse phone. So that's there.
That's unrelated.
I don't think on our channel. I don't think that sold people those. I think it might have put people away. Mickey Mouse thing isn't going to be a reoccurring thing. I spent $40 on that phone. I gotta make it worth it.
You gotta do something. People need to know.
Well, until next time, this is William.
And this is David.
Signing off.